Hi, it's Grant Abbott from LightTalks, Lightyear Training Group, and also Abbott and Morley Lawyers. Are SMSFs dead? If you have a look at it, way back in 2015, I called the absolute pinnacle of SMSFs. We could borrow up to 80%. You can make big contributions. You can put as much as you wanted into super. And I've always said since 2007, the simplest super system, that we had two systems going on. One being our pension stream, which was where we derived our income, and the other one building up large accumulation balances effectively for estate planning purposes. Now what happened, a conservative government, now listen to this, a conservative government came in, Scott Morrison, and introduced the transfer pension balance, which immediately started to reduce the overall taxation, not reduce it, but actually the tax benefits of self-managed superannuation funds. And that, even though it's indexed, still is going to get a lot worse. Contributions, we've now got submissions that the $27,500 should be dropping down to $20,000, and that will continue on unabated. Fund tax, Grattan Institute said there should be no pension exemption, and that's the fact is that after age 60 everything's tax-free, so why would you have also tax-free inside the pension system? And they want a flat rate of tax of 15%. Death taxes, there's now 3 levels of death taxes. One is if it's paid out, because ultimately mum and dad are going to pass away. So ultimately when the adult children get it, the taxable component is going to be taxed at generally 17%. If you are putting your money over into your estate with superannuation and not dealing with it directly, you've got some very poor advice. In fact, I've seen people do that and I've just called them an absolute fool. Everything should be done directly through the superannuation fund. So when we have a look at that, death taxes, 17%, but if you've got assets on the accumulation side, and if Grattan Institute has its way, when you have to sell those assets in order to pay out those death benefits, then you're up for capital gains tax. Now on top of that, for the time the person dies until the benefits are actually paid out, and if you have a look at Ellisor case, it was 3.5 years. In that instance, what we've got there is potentially, if they're over the $3 million, there's going to be then that superannuation wealth tax that's just going to keep on piling in. And for many people, that wealth tax is a real knock-on because it says $3 million, but like Section 293, which was originally 300, now they want it down to 225 from 250. You're going to find that that's always going to drop, and it's also not going to be indexed. Advice level, accountants are being frozen out. We've got industry funds, and let's face it, the industry funds pay the unions pay Labor, so really Labor is in the bag for industry funds. You've already seen Stephen Jones, the Assistant Treasurer, said there needs to be a lot more nudges around superannuation. And you know what that means? That means attacking SMSFs. That is their natural enemy. They don't want people coming in. And as I said it before, it's not an if, it's a when. They're going to be knocking out LRBAs in terms of, they're going to be locking out limited recourse borrowing arrangements in relation to property in self-managed superannuation funds. So that leads to a huge amount of uncertainty, particularly for the younger generation. If they're 30, 35 or 40, why are they going to put their money into super above their SGC if in effect they're going to have problems with uncertainty? They don't know what the changes are. The changes up until 2015 were fantastic. You know, tax-free super, pensions and all that, but since 2015 everything is going downhill, and it's going downhill fast. My question is SMSFs dead? Now, for me, there's a lot of other avenues, and I'm a great believer in using family protection trusts that actually look after bloodline for generations to come. I believe that existing SMSFs need to be used in tandem with that, and there's a whole range of strategies around that. Now, I'll be showing that at the #1 strategy event for accountants on the 11th of May at the Gold Coast. You can come and see it live. It's a full day. I'll be going through hundreds of strategies. We've got some awesome speakers. If you can't go there live, then effectively you can access it streaming. There's no cost there because it's all being sponsored, but it's going to be a cracker of a day, and we'll be investigating, are SMSFs dead, not only now but forever? It's Grant Abbott, Guru of SMSFs, signing off.